very hearty good evening to all the participants out here. Center of Excellence in Safety Analytics and Engineering, IIT Kharagpur welcomes all to this 29th Weekend Talk. And this program is conducted under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, commemorating 75 years of India's independence. We start this program with this wonderful shloka, Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya, which inspires us to lead from ignorance to the truth, from darkness to the light, and from death to immortality. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to announce an achievement of Professor J. Maiti, our chairman of CoE-SEA, IIT Kharagpur, and Professor, Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering. He has been conferred with the prestigious P.C. Mahalanobis Distinguished Educated Award in Management Science for the year 2020 by the Operational Research Society of India. The CoE-SEA IIT Kharagpur fraternity is proud of his achievement, and let us all applaud his achievement. So we welcome all the dignitaries on the virtual dais. We do not have Professor Maiti with us. We are missing him today. Professor O.B. Krishna, the convener of the Weekend Talk series. And we have with us today Mr. Rajesh Kumar Sinha, the expert speaker for this session. So Mr. Rajesh Kumar Sinha is the Vice President Safety at Jindal Steel and Power Limited. He formerly served as Chief Safety at Tata Steel BSL till 2020, and prior to that as Head Safety at Tata Steel 2017. Very passionate in his profession, he holds a master's degree from Ranchi University, a diploma in metallurgy from SNTI, a postgraduate diploma in industrial safety from RLI Kolkata, followed by a post-graduation diploma in environment management from Annamalai University, and a Master's of Business Administration from XLRI Jamshedpur. He has an immense operational experience in the iron-making zone of Tata Steel and commissioning experience of 2 sinter plants at Tata Steel. He was associated with DuPont for launching of safety journey in Tata Steel from 2004 and involved in acquisition of Bhushan Steel with the due diligence and established the safety culture at TSBSL, which is earlier known as Bhushan Steel and now known as Tata Steel Meramandali. He has done assessment of safety management, measurement of safety culture, and establishing safety system and processes at Jindal Steel and Power Limited from 2020 till date. And he's also a trainer of health leadership program. And today we are very privileged to hear him on the topic of success factors for establishing safety culture at new manufacturing units. So, sir, I now hand over the session to Professor O.B. Krishna to formally welcome our expert speaker. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mom. See how sweet it would be to introduce a person whom you know very well, whom you worked for many years together. Thank you to you and Professor Maiti for giving this opportunity. Apart from what Mom has told, I want to tell you something about Mr. R.K. Sinha. In 2005, Tata Steel has taken a decision of bringing operation people to safety function and making work in the safety function for some time, contribute with full enthusiasm, and send back to operations with the experience of safety. And people who were working in the operations already, they were also sent to operations back to contribute what they have learned. Mr. R.K. Sinha is basically a process specialist. He operated process industries of Tata Steel. And he joined safety function, worked for some time. Again, he had gone back to operations. To work, he went with the promotions to operations. Please understand all the safety professionals. People working in the safety professionals can go back to operations with promotions. Again, he came back to safety function after working some years in the operation. Now he is the vice president of a I think 6 million ton plant. So this is how a successful safety people can also be successful in operations, also be successful in the safety. That is one of the best practices Tata Steel has adopted. And Mom Mitra, whom you are seeing, she was a operational specialist in the electrical engineering. Now she is the safety specialist. That is the best practice we have Tata Steel has put and working very, 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 very successfully. And I am also thankful to you, RK. You worked in various fields, right from the operational safety to new plants, putting the safety management systems in the new plants, and all these things goes to your credit. Today's your talk will be very, very beneficial to many of the people who are attending, uh, because he will be talking on the some of the best practices which have been adopted in all these areas, working plants, new companies, all these things. So we are all very eagerly waiting, looking for your talk, RK. Thank you very much. You can take over.
Many thanks, sir. Sir, many thanks once again, and really good evening to all of my colleagues who are attending this program. And it is my pleasure to share my experience for creating a safety culture at different organizations. I am really grateful to IIT Kharagpur and especially to Dr. O.B. Krishna for giving me this opportunity. So today I am going to discuss what is the success factor for establishing a safety culture in our new organization, new manufacturing units. So basically, following lines, we will be sharing, I will be sharing my experience. First, we will try to understand the safety culture, which I'm sure we are aware of it. We will try to elaborate that. Then, what are the different culture scenario exist in different company? Then, how can we gauge the safety culture of the different company? We will try to know how we have done, how we have forwarded it. Then, what are the critical risks and the key challenges there, and overcome to them? Some key initial interventions and the key case study, which a success case story case we will be sharing with you. So, as already Dr. O.B. Krishna has explained, or he has told my experience, I started my career or the professional journey in Tata Steel in 1982 in an operational area, that is the iron making zone. And I was fortunate when in 2004, when negotiation with the DuPont was going on, I was also one of the member along with Dr. Obi Krishna. And at that time, we always, because Tata is still always doing a lot many things in safety. And while we were talking the DuPont representative, we were quite eager to know what exactly differently they will be doing, which we are not doing. And really, when we worked with the DuPont from 2004 to 2007, 2008, we had a hand-holding session along with the DuPont. We learned a lot from DuPont, and then we practiced the safety systems and cultures, it had been established. So during that period till 2017, I served Tata Steel Jamshedpur, and then a opportunity come to Tata Steel for acquisition of a new integrated steel plant, which was Bhushan Steel. And in 2018, I will be explaining some of the slides. What are the experience of acquisition? How do we do, and what we're planning we should do? So acquisition of a new integrated steel plant was done in 2018, and I was part of that from the acquisition to implementation of the safety journey. And presently, I am with Jindal Steel, and I am trying to serve the safety practices at JSPL Angul. So let us start, which we will be very clear that there is some safety thinking, and as well there is a risk thinking. So safety thinking, we all say are safety professionals, and we know that all incidents can be prevented. It is preventable. It is our full belief. We know, but at the same time, we know that risk can never become zero. So there will be some risk, and still we believe that the incidents can be prevented. That balancing needs to be done. Again, we know that management is responsible for safety performance. At the same time, the same management has to do the risk reduction, and because there are a lot many hazards, lot many activities are going on. So say a lot of hazards will be existing. So that the same management has to do some prioritization, and with that prioritization, they try to reduce the risk, considering that there should not be any incident or accident. Working safely is a condition of employment. We always tell, and nowadays it's when new people join, we ask them to sign on a contract or MOU that it is a condition for your employment. So, but at the same time, the same people should know the risk which is containing in the organization, and that is also it is the risk employee risk awareness is also very critical. So that also part has to be imparted to the concerned participants. The employee involvement is very critical, and at the same time, the risk is a dynamic nature of time. New risk will come, existing risk will be there. You need to manage dynamically for the risk. So basically, there is a thing risk safety which has certain beliefs. There is a risk which has certain parameters which needs to be balanced. So that is how the safety professional play between these two and try to create a safety culture on the software. Let us talk about something about the culture. What is this? Is a DuPont's Bradley curve, and we need to understand what are the safety cultures existing in a software. The stage one is the reactive stage. Then the system mature, then it goes to dependent stage. After maturing that system, it goes to independent stage, and finally, if a good company has an interdependent state as a quite mature system. If you will say what is reactive is culture, where employees are only reactive with the health and safety parameters purely for survival. Management is not very much worried for the safety activity, and all the delegations has been done to the health and safety functions. So that is the reactive culture. Then there comes the dependent culture, where employees are dependent on management's decision. The management will make certain rules, there will be regulations, the circulars will come out, and then they do because they don't want to be in trouble. That is why they follow that. So that type of culture which is called dependent culture. Independent culture is the where the employees are independent of the management's populations of the requirement, and the employees are able to care for themselves. At least they start thinking of their own self and the work environment where they are working. So that is the culture where people do work and try to maintain that environment so that they should not get hurt. And the most best culture is the interdependent culture, where the high degree of trust and organizational pride is involved. Employees feel that I am working in such an organization and I have to maintain a working environment for all my team members. So nobody should get hurt along with me. So that is the culture existing everywhere. That the culture should exist, and this culture needs to be transformed on one stage to second stage, second to third, and third to fourth. It takes a lot of time, and maturity takes as per the decision or as per the effort put by the management. So, how to do this safety culture, how to imbibe the safety culture in the organization, that is normally which I have practiced and which I have learned. It can be implemented in two phases. Phase one is the assessment of safety culture and systems of that organization. They have three verticals. The first vertical is the access of current state, means that you need to assess what is the current state of that organization. It means you want to gauge where is that organization and where are the gaps. So how do you do that? You need to do the perception survey. You need to do interactive session with the leadership team, with the executive, with the non-executive. So mostly we try to cover about 80% of the executives, and we try to gauge, we talk to them, do the survey with them, and about 40-50% population of the non-executives. And you can have a feel, you can go to the systems, check the systems, what are the system existing there, and by that process you will be able to know where is that organization and where are the gaps. Once you know the organization's gap, now you need to discuss this with the leadership team. So you need to, the second vertical is the envision future state. You need to test the confidence, or you need to see how much this commitment this management can take for improving the safety. So with this gap, a strategy workshop can be called, organized, or with the senior leadership you can talk, you can show the gaps. With this is the gaps, and these are the level where some of the company of the world class is there. Now you tell me where you want to go, and if you want to go, what is your commitment level. So by this process you will be able to know where do this company wants to go. Once you have identify the gap, when you know the desire or the commitment level of the management, then comes the plan, the transition, how to do that, how to go about that. So this step will do you how do you want to get there where the commitment or the management wants to achieve that. So some of the thing which I have felt in different organization, and because of that, which I have observed, because of these parameters, I feel that the safety culture in that organization is not very mature. It requires to attain those things. Like if you see a organization culture where people rushes to get the job done without carrying out any the full procedural steps, it means that is not a good company. That's not a good safety culture. If you gives the people of that organization gives insufficient support to health and safety initiatives, they preventing the messages getting to the workforce, don't receive the workforce message very positively. And the most important thing is they look to blame individuals after an incident without any investigation. As soon as the action will take, immediately they will start blaming the person who is involved in the job. Then they doesn't get involved in the health and safety issues. But the most important thing, if you feel, you will find the people on the soft floor neglects to address poor performance and avoid tough or unpopular decision. Nobody will talk or tell anybody if he is not abiding with the safety laws, and or he will not abide. He is not abiding with the PPE. Though he is the area owner, but he will not stop these people. He will not take this unpopular decision to take him out from the soft floor. That is the thing. And then, of course, the fails to be visible on the site. These are the some observations which, in my opinion, detrimental for the safety cultures. So, what is desired? The desired is the whole organization should express any health and safety concern to their supervisor, including when unfit to work, they should give the reason, they should stop the work, they should not do that work, and management should support. The management should support, coach, and involve them in the health and safety improvement initiatives. Then the personal actions to improve health and safety performance by showing enthusiasm. People do some safety activity when they feel that they have to do that. Just now Dr. Ubi Krishna told that nowadays the safety department is such a department where people are coming with their pride, with their enthusiasm. Previously the safety department was a dumping department, so people were forced to go there. So that should not be there. That the job of the safety should be made so lucrative that people should choose the department, and today it is being done. The another thing factor which I feel, the challenges to all unsafe behaviors acts as a brother keeper. We have to do that. We to understand the other is my brother. We have to stop them if they are doing something unsafe. So that should be there. Frequently be all work site visit to ensure compliance and discuss health and safety issue with their team members, and of course talks face to face with the staff about the health and safety performances, so that you will be able to know what are the concern directly. If you will tell, you can say the concerns. So this is the 14 elements which is a very powerful or which is a very important element for any safety management system. Like any management system must have those things, and it should be a stronger. It should be strong enough to handle the safety management system. Like emergency management system should be strong. What is the contractor safety there? what is the safety audit system, training system is how, what is the two-way communication system, how the incidents investigations is taking place, and then the report, how the report is being placed, the recommendations are taking place, what is the motivational policies are there, how are the safety professionals are there, high standards of performance are the belief of that or not organization, aggressive goals or objective of safety are taking out there, then the line organization's responsibility on accountability. Normally they think this the safety is the responsibility of the safety person, but it is not. So that needs to be gauged. Then we need to see whether this organization has integrated their operation with the safety or not. What is the safety policy there? And what are the management commitment? The most powerful thing, the management commitment. What level the management commitment is there? So these elements can be measured in 1 to 5 scale, and mostly the world class companies are above uh, 4. But the experience when I started, when I feel normally, all the three organizations, Tata Steel Jamshedpur, TSBSL, and JSPL and Jindal Steel, mostly the score in all the elements started with 1.5, and they attain later on they attain the different level of maturity. So one of the element that is a management commitment, I'm going to explain a little bit more for you. So what are the criteria for evaluation of management commitment? So you need to make some questionnaire where you can judge the commitment management commitment. Like, does the leadership or leaders showcase model safety by personal example all the time? Are the leaders involved in setting direction in the safety annual business plan? A lot of companies they don't have any annual business plan of safety. If you ask them to prepare, they will make the only the lagging indicators. Is there any formal two-way communication system by the leaders, not only for the our own employee, with contact employee, with vendor employee? Does the leader have integrated the safety and health requirement in annual business plan of company? The company annual business plan. So does the leader set the challenges with both the items, lead and lag KPI? Are they getting addressed? And that should be in the beginning of the year. It is not like that some accident has happened and they have started monitoring that. That should not be there. That is the how you have to check what is the gap in that management. How does leaders ensure effective review of its action investigation? Because that are lot of learnings you get when you investigate properly, and then the implementation process also. But that is the parallel deployment of the recommendations or the remedial measures across the company. What is the process there? Does leader provide employees a variety of means to communicate openly and freely on safety health matters? Does the leader promote the sharing of health and lessons, not only learned inside but outside also? That gives a culture of the safety. And to maintain that, we started a safety pause system. We always start any meeting with a safety pause. It may be a inside learning or it may be a outside learning. Does the leader ensure contractor related risks are effectively managed? Mostly, whenever we are starting the organization and where the culture is very low, safety culture low, we find that uh, the neglected area is the contractor related risk. So that how they are taking care. Does the leader ensure risk assessment in operation and then addressing those in the document? Uh, does the leader apportion an amount of time, money, and effort? This three word is very, very powerful one. In safety, the more time you will give, you will get good result. The more result, the more money you will put in safety, you will get very good result. The more effort you will put in the safety, you are going to get a very good result. Now you have to proportionate how much organization has to do, and that is very important, that you can judge with the simple some of the sample question which I have shown. And similarly, for all the 14 elements you need to prepare some sample questions and you need to assess the gaps by asking this. Just now I was introduced that I have worked for Tata Steel, I have worked for Tata Steel BSL, and presently I am JSPL. So in 2004, before 2004, our Tata Steel Jamshedpur plant capacity was hardly 2 million ton plant, and the LTIFR was 9, above 9. But and even at that time, the safety level of the Tata Steel was very high. Lot of activities were being done in say Tata Steel and safety, but still at that time, our management desired to adopt a world-class safety. So that was the initiation of the Dew Point in 2004. And at that during that period, we don't had the much idea about the safety culture. What is the culture? What are the cultures transformation is taking place? How it is taking place? It was not aware. We are not aware. So in 2004, when we started our journey with Dew Point, then the Dew Point taught lot many things how we need to implement the safety or improve the safety culture on soft floor. Like they taught us how to do the safety management evaluation, and on the these all four elements they did the evaluation. And at that time, when we started journey in 2004, we in Tata Steel also we were almost in the between the reactive and dependent stage. And in 2018, when I came out from that organization and joined Tata Steel Bhushan, so it was transforming from the independent to interdependent stage. So it's a very good progress. The plant capacity also increased to 11 million ton. Lot of construction activities also took in between, but the LTIFR also decreased with our lot of efforts. So those learnings which we learned in Tata Steel, that I got an opportunity to implement those things when Tata Steel acquired Bhushan Steel in 2018. And the plant capacity of Bhushan is also very high, that is 5.6 million ton, and their LTIFR was 5.3 million, 5.3. So the same process, when what we learned in Tata Steel, we applied here. We evaluated the score of the all 14 elements, and accordingly what we learned there, we started doing that. And that also I will discuss how we have implemented post acquisition and pre-acquisition, how what activities we did. So in 2018, when we joined, the culture was about um, reactive culture, and within 2 years we were able to transform that culture towards the independent culture. Lot many things to be done. So it is going on. Safety is a journey. It is going on, and it will improve a lot. So 2001, 2021, again, I had an opportunity to share my experience or with the JSPL, which has a capacity of 6 million ton. I did the same process here also. We have evaluated our safety management system, and presently we are doing a lot many things because our culture is between reactive to dependent stage. We have to proceed further. So we know that there are four type of culture is there: reactive, dependent, independent, and interdependent. You need to understand these are the two stage one, stage two, that is reactive and dependent stage, required to reduce the risk reduction and control measures to be in place. And for that, the involvement of leadership should be very high, because they are the person who can assure the compliance of the all risk reduction program, as well as they can develop a management system where it can be captured and it can be implemented after that. So the in two stages, a very high level of the involvement is required from the leadership team and then once we transform from reactive to dependent, then it comes independent and interdependent stage where worker engagement should be very high, and we need to improve the focus on the building the gap to the potential of the workmen people. So basically it shifted from the leadership to worker engagement, but at the same time the leadership has to focus on risk reduction by effective risk identification and risk management. That is the responsibility of leadership. So now this has to be imbibed in the workers or the soft floor. So for that, the two processes are very important. First, you need to implement the behavioral safety, and when you have attained some maturity in behavioral safety, then you need to address the safety with the process safety. That is how we should go ahead. So that is the first stage we talked, and the second stage in phase two, we need to implement. We need to do the risk containment process. What is the safety improvement will take place, and this how it will sustain. So there are two components, but it seems that there are two components, but these are the real practical challenges. So you need to do implement changes means practical implementation plan you have to prepare. This cannot be taught to anybody after the gap assessment. You whatever processes are there, you have to adopt according to the organizational commitment. You need to plan your implementation plan, and once you do the implementation plan, you need to get it through by the management drive, and establish those cultures in the organization. After that, whatever you have achieved, the sustained changes are very important. Unless until you will not sustain it, you will not go ahead of that. So that is also you need to what effort you should do so that the whatever you have done up till now, you how you can sustain that. In this process, the important parameter is the benchmarking. Every place you need to do some benchmarking because you need some target, and the target best target will be the benchmark target. Once you will do the benchmarking, you can proceed and you can plan accordingly. So that is how the phase two is the toughest phase. It takes a lot of time, and it require a lot of management commitment also, as well as the safety professionals drive. So this is how this has to be implemented. Something I am going to touch about the acquisition of a new organization. During the acquisition, these are the four steps involved: pre-transactions, conceptualization to announcement, third stage is announcement to takeover, and fourth is integration. So pre-transactions are the management decision how whether they are going for their they are going to acquire the equities. That willpower and the other assessment has to be done by the management. The second is the conceptualization of the to announcement. Before that, what we do, we need to do the due diligence of that company, visit the company and their leadership team, assess the infrastructure, and that due diligence report is very important if you decided that yes, we are going to take over this company, because a lot of activities is required to be done on the due diligence report. So once company with the all activities, once company decide that yes, we should go ahead for that. So normally the first stage takes 4 months, and then before announcement to conceptualize this, it takes about 4 to 6 months. Once the company decided that yes, we will go for that, then the announcement takes place that yeah, we are going to acquire this, and the process starts. So the most important thing is the organization which you are going to organize, it is not being managed by any management or any board of directors. It is being managed by the resolution professionals, and they are there from government side. They will see how smoothly the transit can take place. So that is a very important 3 to 4 months transition period is required, and with the announcement of that, on the basis of due diligence report, we try to make our integration plan, and we try to make our team deployment planning how to do that. And finally, on 18th of May, when the company when the board of directors or the NCLT finally announced that this organization belongs to Tata Steel, we entered into the plant and we started implementation or integration process. So this is how I'm going to explain a little bit what are we doing in pre-integration phase, and during the integration phase, what are the processes we are following. So pre-integration phase, I told you that the due diligence report is very important, because everything, the process man, the safety person, everybody had visited the plant. They have captured their observations, and on the basis of due diligence report, once we decided that yes, we are going ahead to acquire, then we need to prepare from 1 day plan to 100-day integration plan. How we are going to do that? That planning starts. Then safety team deployment, because this acquisition of Bhushan Steel had four other outlets. One was Hosur, another was in Kapoli, that is Maharashtra, other one is in Delhi, Saibabad, and one is at Angul. So in four locations, how we are going to deploy your team? How you are going to do that? So that was the challenge. We did the pre-integration phase. How we are going to do that? Then we decided how to go identify the hazards existing in the plant. So for that, the identification of key members of the line managers of the Jamshedpur. We identified few people who are working in the different departments, and we identified that once we will take over, we will ask them to come and identify the different hazards existing on the soft floor, and based on that implementation plans prepared. So this is the pre-integration phase. Integration phase, of course, the hazard identification is done by our own people with the safety people. You know, it is a very important thing to know when you are acquiring a company. Hardly 15 to 16 people go to the different that organization. Rest of the people belongs to that organization. So it is very important key who are going there and how they are going to drive their policy. So this is the we brought from people, line managers from Jamshedpur. They tried to identify hazards. We also go around the plant and try to identify the hazards, noted it down, make some plan. We establish a governance structure, safety governance structure, how we are going to review that. The PP standardization we did, PP was an issue. Deployment of safety processes, how we do, what are the IT system we need to establish. There's all things we need to do that. Then uh, so like that we am I audible, mom?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Yes.
Okay. So again, the infrastructure also we did. What are the infrastructure we need to identify? So this is something which we did. So these are the two phases we acquired, and the we proceeded as per our planning. So now I am going to discuss some of the cases, which is a signing example, which we have implemented. You know, the general theory is that whenever there is a plant and about four times of the plant capacity, the transportation takes place. So if this plant is a 6 million ton, it means at least twice is the raw material, means 12 million ton you have to transport your raw material. Then of course whatever you are producing 6 million, you are producing to 6 million, you have to transport. So finished good 6 million ton, and about 1 million ton transportation for internal transportation. So just imagine you need to do the 20 to 24 million ton transportation for making 6 million ton of the steel. So the biggest challenge was the how are we going to manage the 70 because 30% to 40% transportation takes through rail logistics, and about 60 to 70% transportation takes through the road. Now the road is a very big challenge, because you need to take the raw material, as well you need to send the finished product to the customer. So you have to place, you have to indent the vehicle, placement of the vehicle just in time. You need to do that at a time. A lot of vehicles should not come, so you need to avoid the congestion also. You have to arrival at the correct location also, because all the drivers who are coming in the inside, they may be coming first time. So that are the challenges were there. Then once you are allowing a vehicle to come inside, you have to watch what is the turnaround time. Is it waiting for 24 hours? Are we able to get this vehicle released within shortest period time? So that was a challenge, because I remember in few cases we observed that one of the vehicle or few vehicles had to wait for 48 hours. If vehicles are inside the works, it means creating hazard for the themselves or the plant. Then unnecessary movement should not be there. In plant monitoring is required. The speed of vehicle is also very much required. These were the challenges, how to address those things, and it was existing. In transit monitoring also it was required, how we are doing the in transit monitoring. So in transit monitoring means we started taking care of the finished product from the shop floor, from the steel plant to the customer service. So we try to judge, or we try to monitor what is this, how we can take care of the driver, safety of the driver. Are he taking sufficient rest? Are he stopping after 8 hours? Is he following the correct path? And similarly, this the proof of delivery and the services, the delivery services, and how to communicate the customer that this is the time we are reaching there. So these were the challenges we want to address that. For that, what we did, we uh, shake our hand with one of the Far Eye platform, that is the IT platform, and we implemented with him a system which is which consists of GPS as well as their own program, which they used to give when the truck want to enter inside the plant. They give the device to the driver, and once the driver starts coming inside, he is having that device along with him till the dispatch of the material. So that device, and with that device, we were able to trace the visibility, where is the, and now all the movement of heavy vehicles are on the dashboard. Where are the where are the vehicle is there? What is the turn and about time? And now the business is being driven by the data. How many trucks we have to come? What is the time it will reach there? And we can do some simulation also. So that advantage we got. At the same time, we get a lot of safe operations by that process, that all the vehicle which is plying inside is under the vigilance. Live tracking can be done, trace the visibility, where are they. We can predict the time of arrival of the engine, where, so that unnecessarily we should not allow the vehicle to wait inside the plant. What are the some of the preventive and actionable alerts are getting generated when they are deviating. The alerts are coming to the owner or even the safety department, and immediate action is taken with that alerts and other things. And of course, digitalization had proved that the delivery of the material has is reached to the customer. We provided some of the checkpoint in between the destination. The driver has to do some digital verification in between, so that physically he has crossed that locality, that also come to know, and the paperless transaction started doing there. So these are the advantage we got. Some of the glimpses are there. So this is the geofencing of the plant we did, and of the Angul plant. And these are the things which we are showing, that these are the vehicles inside the plant, where are the vehicles. And here are some of the filter checks. If you put a click, do a click here, you can know how many vehicles are running, how many vehicles are stopped. So that also facilities are there, and the report comes in this form: the vehicle number, transporter name, driver's name, mobile number, and the history of the driver, how he had behaved live previously, what how we can track them. So immediately, if in any deviations comes, you can contact the driver, you can contact them. So by that process, we were able to control our safety on road. So this is one of the picture where it is showing that lot of clustering is taking place of the vehicle. So we went there, then we tried to develop a parking place. So we try to avoid any congestion near the plant itself. This is one of the case we discussed. The another very challenging thing which we face, the use of PPE by the worker, by the truck drivers, because in Angul or in the Odisha, lot of minings are there, and they are very near to the plant. Like in Angul, Talcher is very near. A lot of coke is coming through trucks. So about 1,000 market trucks are coming with the raw material. Now the concern was how to make the PPE available to them, because they were coming in chappal, they were coming in the loose garments. So how to make them available? How to develop a self-sustainable model with a lot of that much quantity of the PPE. So management of PPE, these were the concern, and the challenges was, if suppose I made it available, so first we have to make it available for the 1,000 sets of PPE for to the crew members, and that to every day. And then whether they will be use it or not, how do we do the PPE management for the truck crew? Well, that was a challenge, but with our learnings and past experience, we could develop one of the vendor who agreed to manage the PPE management system at the entry of the gate. And at the entry of the gate, we developed that facility. And at the same time, we tried to maintain the hygiene of the PPE through the disposable cap, issue of disposable cap, disposable socks to each and every driver. Every day washing of the jackets was there, polishing of the safety shoe takes place there. And we see that the people should initially, we started this functioning by asking the truck drivers or the transporters, because they are transporting for Tata Steel. So we asked, you can charge in the your bill, but you have to pay initially 20 rupees per set, and they started doing that. Finally, presently, we the all the payments, all the these arrangements are being arranged by the Tata Steel. So this is how it looks like. We try to find out one of the place where we can keep all the PPE. Then we went to there with the in the vendor house, and we try to inspect what are the quality of the PPE they are keeping, and we ask them to keep bare minimum, which because these are the bare minimum requirement of the plant: safety goggles, disposable cap, helmet, disposable socks, safety shoe, and fluorescent jacket. So they come, and these are the racks where they decorated these things. So this all these helmet, shoe, fluorescent jacket, and when they were entering, before entering, the security asked them to you go and take that. They used to come this PPE center. They keep their slippers or the whatever they are wearing, the loose garments in that room, and they were issued the PPE. And most surprisingly, they were very happy. We were thinking whether they will use it or not. They were so happy with wearing that colorful type of jacket with the helmet, because they were not using it. So it was very easy for us to implement that also. So once they did do their work, they come to the return back to the center. They returned everything, and then the jacket goes for the washing, shoe goes for the shoe polishing, and everything gets ready for the next one. That is the how the we make our implementation of, and this happens within 2 months. Within 2 months, we implemented this process, and now all the truck drivers who are the outsider, they start using that. The third case which we need, I am just going to share with you, is the movement of cycle along with the heavy vehicle. That is the biggest challenge for any in the steel industry, at least. So just I told that about 20 million ton of transportation has to take place. Maybe 30-40% road rail, but rest of the things has to be transported to the road. So parallel running of cycle along with the truck or trailer is a dangerous thing, and we have faced a lot of fatality in this when they are running parallelly. So we took that we want that we should be a zero harm company, and we will eliminate this cyclist. We will not allow the cyclist to go inside. We need to, whatever arrangement we have to do, we will do that. For that, we started studying. So we see that how many ships we are having. We studied that. Then we did some study how many bicycles are coming, how many motorcycles are coming, what is the time of arrival at the gate, including peak time? What is the peak time? what are the contractors and what is the contractor's workman site, what is the name of the contractor, name of the person. So everything we collected, and then we finally we took a trial by asking 70 people, because that is a 72-seater bus. So with 70 people to sit on the chair, sit on the bus and take a trial, and we found successful. So these are the few things which the data has been captured, at what time, how many cycles are coming. So this type of data we collected, and we also collected how much time a vehicle is taking from one place to the biggest, longest route, as well as the shortest route, so that we can make a better arrangement for the transportation of the people there. So then this we consider all the persons, that is our contract employee, our company employee, our WhatsApp employee. So everybody was considered that. The one thing which we also considered, because when we were in Jamshedpur and we were trying to eliminate this cycle project, we had little incident there. So we wanted to be very, very cautious, and we wanted to implement those learnings here also. So what we did, the failure, why the failure was there, little failure was there, because we started abruptly implementation without sufficient information to cyclists. Again, parking facility for the cyclists was not made properly. Transporting facility to workplace and back to the cycle stand, because they were coming to the cycle stand to catching a bus. To, it was a little distance, so that was not under properly conceived. Then the lack of communication and direction to the security team also did some confusion among them. So that was the consider when we were planning this activity. And similarly, some more brainstorming with the past experience we did, how we can accommodate 11 buses in one place. It will require a big place. How we do that? Then how the people will come and identify which bus is going in which route. That clearly the demarcation, because everybody will come within 15 to 20 minutes, and that how we have to manage that. So how the orderly they will be boarding on the bus, that is, they can, because once the bus comes, everybody try to rush to, and there is a chance of accident. So the queuing system and other things, and identification of the bus user who are going to come as a user. So this is the some of the glimpse which we do. We took two trials, sitting people on the bus as well as in the standing position. We try to understand what are the comfort and uncomfort situations are coming. So we took that trial. We developed a parking place for cyclists as well as for motorcyclists. So these were developed, and then we started introducing our bus services with all facility, and it was a very, very successful activity. And presently no motorcycle is moving inside, so that we were able to reduce our road fatality with all the above initiatives. The last but not the least, the last case I am going to discuss, because we all know that communication has a great role in safety. So how do we do that communication? At what level we need to do that? We need to do that with the contract employee, with the community, with our own employee. So these are the five forums we established. The first forum we established in the department level, the contractor people, or the interactions with the contractor people with the senior leadership, it takes place. Then we want to, if we want to communicate any safety initiative, activity, or something which the mass crowd has to adopt, so that was communicated through catwalk journey. Catwalk was done, or through some nukkar natak, so people were coming and the communication was done. Then we developed a system for the program, or for the development of the contract employee or interaction forum for the contract employee, not vendor owner, contract employee. And we keep the name of that forum is Sumilan, Aapka Manch, Aapke Vichar, so that you come and you give your opinion. Accordingly, we take the corrective actions. So then the another forum we develop is the forum for the vendor partners, where the owners come and they try to interact with the senior leadership, and they express what are the difficulty they are facing in the safety and other things. So another thing which we developed is the interaction with the employees and the spouse. The senior leadership come and they do the interaction with our own employees also, so that we can hear to the those employees also. So these are the few initiatives which we are taking in Tata Steel for the better communication on safety only. These all are only dealing with the safety only. So finally, I must say that everything that you do or don't do cast a shadow on the people you influence. What sort of shadow are you casting? That depends upon you, and that will give you big thrust or big emphasis on building a safety culture. Thank you very much for listening to me. I am ready for any question.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the audience could visualize this establishing the safety culture in this new business acquire unit. So, sir, first question. I know people are bubbling with questions. A lot of questions in the chat box. So, sir, first question, sir, I'll ask. And the question is that when we acquire a new manufacturing unit, how to prioritize? I mean, sir, like we could see many road initiatives, CSM going on. Then maybe some process hazard may be also there. Uh, Maybe some history of incidences. So, how to prioritize, sir, as a leader or as a safety leader in that organization?
If you see this slide, uh, parallelly you need to address, and at the same time you need to prioritize. You are absolutely right. So first we try to find out the what are the fatality potential hazards are existing. Fatality potential hazards are existing. So that was prioritized, and it we started in that direction. At the same time, once we are, and the second important issue is the safety PP standardization, the PP, use of PP, and what is the standard of the PP. That is the second. And third, which we did there, was the biggest risk of the fall from height. So we have there we find that people are working the bamboo scaffolding. So we introduced one of the standard scaffolding system. So to prevent such type of things. So you need to go by the past record with fatality. You need to study that. And where is the priority you have to give? With that, you can give. With the structure, we saw a lot of structures are there which needs to be addressed. So you need to prioritize by seeing, you will be able to judge which has to be prioritized. You can do some numbering also. You can do some risk assessment also by giving the risk priority number, and you can give the priority. Then definitely we can do that, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So I would request Sovik and Ashish to take further Q&A.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for this nice presentation, explaining the things through various case studies. So we have a lot of questions in chat box. I'll take one by one. The first question is, how will the application of data analytics in the field of safety help in establishing safety culture in manufacturing units?
It is very, very important. Once we started our journey with DuPont, we had not a mature IT system which can capture the data. So we started a system which called IT system, which is now NSAFE, which is called in Tata Steel NSAFE system. Once you have the data with the analytics, you can apply, which are, even if you can predict with the data in which area next serious incident is going to take place. So even we took some help from your IIT Kharagpur also. We gave all the data to IIT Kharagpur, and they give the some predictive model, and they developed, and we tried to apply it. So definitely IT has a big role to play in safety, because that gives indications where is the points which needs to be addressed, what are the points which is still open, what are the points parallelly it is happening. Even if you want to know whether this point was previously pointed out or not, that also you can have the flavor of that it is preserved there. You can ask that, and what action you took. Was it not sufficient? Because this similar type of action has taken place. So IT has a great role to play. and you can do number of analysis. You can see with the different tools, and you can come to a conclusion where are the gaps which needs to, even it becomes much more useful when the organization becomes little more mature. There it gives a lot of help in the department, in the organization, to proceed in the certain direction for the further development.
Sir, for detailed explanation of the question. So our next question is, are there any ISO standards on safety culture and maturity level? If no, then why not?
No, ISO is not, OSAs are there. Nowadays, ISO 45,000 is there, and mostly since they are being given by external agency, and we have become, after the ISO, we have become very smart. We are ready to prepare any type of a procedure. We can show the auditors, this is my procedure. But the real test is whether it is being implemented on the shop floor or not. That the external agency will not be able to do any justice on that. So that the internal people can do the justice, whether it is implemented or not. So there is a system, OSA system are there, that is ISO 45,000.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So our next question is, why 100 days integrated planning ODR is required? Is there any standard or its company's internal standard? Can it be increased or reduced?
And then you are absolutely right. Normally, we try. It's a short-term target we are taking slowly, because it's a new organization. You cannot plan something for the long term or for the long duration. So once you are starting with a organization which you doesn't know, and you are making a planning with the input with your due diligence, which you have not visited properly also. So short duration plannings are done only with a limited data. So it was prepared with the limited data. That is why henceforth we started making on the one year planning. So it was because of the new organization and limited information available with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Next question is, how can we stop the repeat accidents? Is the digital transition be possible to achieve zero harm?
Digital can indicate you that this type of incidents are repeating in your software or in your area, but stopping has to be from the commitment of the management. If the management is committed to do that, it can be. You did not accept that reputation. You need to take certain things, and which I hope any matured organization has started doing. They are not they are making responsible or area owner responsible, that you are responsible for this area. You have to implement that. So by making the persons responsible, especially the area owner, that can be resolved much faster.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So the last question for today's session is related to road transportation. Is there a program for driver training? What about health monitoring of drivers and monitoring of driving under influence?
It's a really a good question. In fact, for the training or for the improvement of the drivers, even we have installed simulators, and heavy vehicle simulator has been installed. People are being trained there. That is one of the things which we are doing. We are calling some expert, road safety experts from Delhi or from Hyderabad. They are imparting some good live examples, which are real incidents which have happened, which has taken place. With those examples, we are interacting with the drivers. And and what are the next? Driver health.
Yes, sir. So it is related to health monitoring of drivers and monitoring of driving under influence.
Correct. So driving under influence, we have introduced our audit on the alcohol check. And what I told just the PPE center which we installed at the entrance of the gate. So we did that. We entered at the gate, and there each and every driver are being tested for the alcohol check, and if they are zero, then they are being allowed inside. Inside also, sample audits are being done. As far as health monitoring of the drivers, that is being done because it's a hazardous factory. Under the Factory Act, each and every driver has to be monitored. His health has to be checked. So even eye checks are there. They are a statutory requirement. So that is also done. But time to time, when we take a campaign on road safety, we do these activities. Also, we keep our doctors. We get it checked in one of the places where a lot of drivers are there. So that activities are also being done.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for nicely explaining the answer questions. So now I would request Professor Krishna to formally provide vote of thanks to our today's expert speaker. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashish. Excellent talk, RK.
Thank you, sir.
Whatever name you are given, but what you talked is about cultural safety. And when people very colloquially talk about this behavioral based safety, cultural safety without understanding, and many people think they are the experts on behavioral based safety, your talk is an eye opening to them. You have made it very, very clearly, with very excellent models you have presented, with your experience and knowledge you gained. See, you're told very clearly Tata Steel, which was one of the best plant in India and world, how they have changed the safety culture with the help of DuPont, because nobody was there in India to help at that level. Having changed the culture and how they have helped the new industries which they have acquired to take them to same level, and how we are helping the new companies other than like JSW. Very well explained, RK. I'm really delighted. Gentlemen, please understand. RK has told very clearly the safety culture is a multidisciplinary subject. Somebody said, how do we measure? He said that 14 elements, or somebody says 22 elements, which involves most engineering interventions, also part of safety culture. Finally, he concluded analytics, safety analytics, which is nothing but digitization and digitalization. When converting the data into IT enabled and analyzing the data for the prediction, that he said that is also part of safety culture. How many of you really agree to this? Gentlemen, this is the difference people should understand from the talk of RK Sinha. The CoE-SEA of IIT Kharagpur, which is safety, engineering, and analytics. Analytics added because of this what RK has told. How many of you understand? HAZOP, which is very, very successful tool in the chemical industry, could be used in all the disciplines. Now IIT Kharagpur, we are trying how HAZOP could be used to all disciplines, including safety culture. How will you really apply the technique of HAZOP to safety culture for improvement? Very, 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 very interesting. And some of the examples, RK, which you have quoted, like stopping the cycles inside the plant. Can anybody imagine the people who come around 20-25 kilometers from the plant, come to the plant, and they have to park the cycles outside, 25-30,000 cycles, and they are transferred through various means for improving safety. How much investment people must have invested in this? For parking places, movement of these places. This is what the part of management in the cultural safety. If you have understood here, presented a model, the 4 stages model. You had made it very, very clearly. First 2 stages, reactive stage and dependent stage. More management involvement, more management commitment. How many people accept this? If you don't accept, you cannot change. And the next 2 stages, independent and interdependent, he said mostly worker involvement is required along with the management involvement. A beautiful model you presented, RK. I'm totally delighted to see that model. First time I'm seeing the model in that forum. I'm seeing first time. Very, very happy. And the whole of your lecture will be very useful to the people. So you're told how to transform the existing plant to very good safety, including mentioning all the interventions which are required. And you have also told if you are taking over some other plants, which is the order of the day. Acquisition is the order of the day. When you acquire any plant, then how will you see the safety before you going into and how will you transform into? Your model is very, 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 very enthusing to me. And you've done it. You see, you could speak so confidently because you've done. You've put all your heart and mind and you've made the change. Your contributions to the plant, thereby to the whole of industrial sector, people for reducing the injuries and allowing them to live for some more years is very, very encouraging. Thank you, RK. Thank you very much. Thank you, audience.